Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Zero Tech Extreme. I'm your host, Avery Milkman. Let's get started with the video, shall we? So today I've noticed that nobody has actually done a video for Android Ice Cold project for Enchilada. That is the OnePlus 6. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So the Android Ice Cold project is a downloadable third-party firmware available on XDA. The link will be in the description below, and it is quite an excellent firmware. I'm actually very pleased with it so far. It's based off of um, Grand Zero open source projects, so this is based off not AOSP, and it is perfect for signature spoofing. So right now I have it set up with micro G, and I'm just going to go over a couple of the features that I really like about this ROM. First things first, let's set the brightness to something a little more acceptable. So when you first download the ROM and you go into the settings menu, it's going to be right here. I am using Nova Launcher, of course. It's my favorite launcher. You do see that it's basically your standard stuff right here, except for the addition of both additional buttons. Sorry, additional buttons is in there, and you can set over the top. You can set over the slide slider with that one. Going into actual AICP extras, which is going to be basically your feature folder. You can configure hardware buttons, so you can configure the power menu to have reboot, advanced reboot, screenshot, emergency, screen record, or on-the-go features. This does have on-the-go, which is one of my favorite features for secondary firmwares. I'm really glad to see that it's in here. You can also long press the power button for torch. You have cursor control, swap volume buttons, answer call, control ring volume, volume wake, and playback control and that's just for hardware buttons. For navigation, you can enable a navigation bar. You can have pie controls, so you do get the actual pie if you wanted to use it. Just like that. I'm not a very big fan of the pie, so I'll keep that off. You do have navigation gestures that you can enable instead of a nav bar. I prefer having the nav bar myself, but to each his own. Under recents, now this is one of the things that actually drew me to this, because one of the things I do not like about most secondary ROMs is that they don't have Oxygen OS, side to side pie style, basically recents. And I do like having this clear all button, because typically I do like to clear everything out. So AICP extras does give you, under your recents panel, you can select Oreo with the memory bar. So if I swipe down, I can actually see how much memory all my apps are taking. Sorry, I go into my recents, I can see how much free RAM is actually available for the device at the time, and I can actually select stock grid, Android Go, and I currently have it on grid. You can also set the clear all location for this one to the button center, the bottom center, bottom left, bottom right, top center, top left, top right, which I think is a really useful feature. You also have the option for slim recents, which will do this with your recents panel. I hate that, so I'm not doing that. So you can also customize the UI. You can have smart pull down, tap to sleep, brightness control by sliding across the status bar. So you can actually, I would actually have to start the system UI again. The battery icon can be taken off, which is the way I usually like it, and you can have battery percentage, swapping that, or you can have both. It's up to you, really. Bluetooth battery status, clock, roaming indicator, show 4G instead of LTE, VoLTE icon. VoLTE is working on this ROM, of course, everything is working. Show data disabled icon, location icon, status bar network activity, if that's your thing. You can have the network activity. If you just saw, it was just right up there. Expanded status bar network activity. You can show network activity in the status bar above the quick settings at all times, so it'll actually show you right up there. Since there's very limited network activity, I'm kind of not even using that. You can of course hide the notch if you want to. I've kind of grown into the notch, so I'm just basically I kind of like the notch at this point. The battery bar, you can configure a battery bar at the top of the screen, as it shows over there. 48% when it is fully charged, it will go the entire way, and you can customize that as well. If carrier label. If you want that, I'm just disabling it. Custom carrier label. You can enter a new label if you want that. Pretty standard features so far. For notification settings, you can allow pop-up notifications. You can force expanded notifications, battery LED, screen on notifications, smart notification sounds, which is very interesting. Weather, service settings, you select where you are. I don't use any of that. Themes is a really nice interface for setting up the theme that you want. So the corners, it has them on default. I like them a little rounded, so I'm going to change that right now. And as it restarts the system UI, so 1 second. Now all of a sudden I start getting rounded corners on everything, and I think I like that. I think I like that quite a bit, right? And settings dashboard icons round by default, and you set your accent color and your base theme. I have it on black because AMOLED, right? And then for quick settings, you can go and adjust your quick tiles and everything like that, your tile themes, all that. Other UI tweaks includes the system UI tuner, AOD on charging, the always on display while charging, which can enable it, disable. It doesn't really matter. Turn on the screen when connecting or disconnecting to a power source. Wake on plug, you can have that. Show CPU info, and there we go. We have it right there, all the CPU things that are going on. Toast icon. System UI tuner does include things like the status bar, so you can have what goes on to the status bar itself, what it will actually display for you, and I think that's pretty cool. So actually, I don't know why headset's not on there. That should be on there. And you can customize the navigation bar. From here, you can have it more left-leaning, so that it'll move it over there. You can have it more, you can have the layout compact, so it'll be a very small navigation bar, or you can just keep it normal, and I tend to do that. Lock screen, you can have all the shortcuts set up however you want like that as well. So just to keep things moving along. Here we go. Set system animations, whatever you want. The boot animation, you can set a custom boot animation through there. If you don't know how to install a secondary boot animation, I can do another video on that. It's really, really easy. As long as you have root QS tiles animation, you can change the speed of those, change the style, flip, rotate. You can have tiles animation interpolator. You can accelerate, decelerate, accelerate, and then decelerate, bounce, overshoot, anticipate, all that other good stuff. System animations. You also get a ton of notifications over here. Now, one of the great things about this ROM is this right here, and I'm going to talk about that. Log that shit. So, logcat, radio log, K message, D message, and engage. Now I've just well, I'm gonna give it once. Grant, share it or get the fuck out. So I'm gonna share it with Mega. Yeah. And that's what I'm gonna do. AICP logs. I'm just gonna save it to my cloud drive. Upload. And there we go. Now you've taken a log. I mean, if only it were that easy. And then AE customization, you can have the theme automatic dark with more color is what I tend to like. And show launcher icon, do not hide preferences. There you go. See? All in all, I think it's a very successful ROM. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm definitely liking it quite a lot. All of these, like I said, are working. Everything is working over here just fine, including gaming mode. And of course the on-the-go feature, which I love so much. I love this feature. This is honestly hands down, I think this should be standard in just about every ROM. Now it does come with the sorry, let me turn that off right now. There we go. So it does come with the Snapdragon camera on it. It does not come with an AOSP camera. It does not come with an Omni camera. It does not come with Gcam, but it does work absolutely fantastic with. I'm using the Moonrise icon packs. It does work extremely well with the extreme icons over here. And if I snap a picture right now, takes a picture no problem. You can switch over to portrait mode. It works just fine. Switch it in towards myself, and there I am. And it flashed. Awesome. And here are the images that it took. See? So just a couple images there. Extremely high quality. You can't really see it quite well on this camera, but it is working quite well. So I do like I said many times before, I do like this ROM very much. This is looking for a great contestant for my everyday driver, and if you were interested in CPU activity and battery activity and stuff like that, I do have EX Kernel Manager, and I will show you guys right now what it looks like. It's spending most of its time over in the 300 megahertz for the little cluster, and for the big cluster, it is spending the absolute vast majority of its time at 825. So this is a power-saving ROM. Now, I haven't done any overnights with it. You see the CPU temperature, by the way, is 28 degrees centigrade. It's using a lot of memory for some reason. I'm not entirely sure where all that memory is going right now. It's probably in my recents, but I can open that up. I've cleared all my recents. Yay. Thank you. Now, jumped up to 40% because it just closed everything. Now, on my battery monitor for EX Kernel Manager, which is one of the few paid apps you should get, it does say idle drain is at 1.64, which is extremely high, but I'm going to let it go overnight right now, and I'm going to see kind of how that really plays out, because as you can see, that's only 4% of the total usage, and the active drain is 11.61% per hour. That's mostly including YouTube and stuff like that. See, this idle drain is because I'm using YouTube Vanced on this device, and YouTube Vanced, because of its background play while the screen is off, it will affect that number. So I will update everybody a little later on and let you know exactly how much this thing is really draining off of your battery. But all in all, I'm having a great time with it. I'm loving the fact that it supports microG, and I know I have Play Store over here, not Fake Store. Sue me, but you know, I'm not using Google Play services or anything like that. The only thing I wish it did have were Spectrum profiles, but that's more of a kernel limitation than it is a ROM limitation. And just to show you that on the system settings, we can go down over here into the system folder and about phone folder. It does incorrectly read my device as an A6000, but this shouldn't affect anything really. It shouldn't affect anything. That there's no difference between the two devices. And yeah, just to show you the Android version, it does have AICP Pi Edition 14.0 with the March security patch, and with how fast the developers are putting out updates, there will be a very early access. I'm estimating that April 5th we will have a new version with the full support for the April security patch. I really like how fast these guys are putting out updates. I really like how this ROM is running, and I think if you are in the market for a custom ROM right now, this one is absolutely worth a try. I'm Savory Milkman, like I said, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit like, subscribe if you enjoyed it. Peace out. Till next time.